You are, I know. So cheers to you this morning.
Thank you.
On your very first launch of your show. Do we have a name for your new show, Donna?
Nope.
We don't even have a name yet, but we wanted,
Maybe we should let the viewing audience decide.
wouldn't that be really cool? Let's vote in on what you think the name of Donna's new show should be. Let's tell them about what we're gonna be doing here
Mhm.
and how we're going to involve and empower, educate women, basically.
And you know what, guys can tune in too, because
Yeah,
it's always
we like
good
the
to
guys.
know how to deal with a woman, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
How to
and
manage that.
To be honest, a lot of what I teach is really both, you know, it's
Yeah.
male, female.
Yeah.
We do have specific challenges that are different than men, but for the most part,
Yeah.
we're humans.
We are. You know what I love about you and what I'm so excited about your show is, like, the first thing Donna did when she came in, she's so deliberate is the word that we use to describe Donna. She told me that I didn't have signs up.
I'm like, paper signs
Get
are
signs.
good.
She got lost, so that's why we're not airing at 9 o'clock, and it is our fault. We're a week
There's no
old
fault.
here.
It's just a matter of there.
But
is
it's
a matter.
frustrating, and Donna is very good at saying, you know, pointing out when you really should have some stuff done. And
But you know what? No, I actually thought just paper is fine.
anything, I know.
Paper's fine.
I know.
It's just a matter of delineating, and also from a feng shui perspective, you want people to know you're out there now.
Oh,
'Cause you are.
True, we
You know,
do.
So it's a way to say it.
And so my life, just to talk about women and what we're gonna be talking about the show, is woke up at 5:30, made 3 lunches. One of the kids doesn't want lunch, and he's, you know, a carboholic and sugar. He's, you know, we'll talk about issues with
Oh,
kids and
boy.
eating and how that affects what their attitude is through the day, and something that I would love to speak to you more about, because I think that one child of mine, Brendan, who I adore, he's a great, great kid, but I think he has a craving for the carbs and the sugar and the breakdown and so forth. So my day starts with getting their lunches ready, worrying about that it's your birthday. I wanna make sure you have your
That is
balloons and
cool.
your blue chip monster
And
here with us, our
butterflies.
guest. You know, we needed a guest.
What's his name?
What's his name? He's Blue Monster. Blue Monster.
We'll call him the
We'll call him
manipulator.
Blue.
The manipulator.
Donna, what he actually does is he loves you, okay?
Yes.
Okay, get away from me.
He matches my outfit.
He does. So those are some of the things that we're going to talk about, what your day is, and how something as important as a sign that would get people to know where you are and what you're doing, or staying timely, staying, you know, on task, but how all the other things that are part of your life, how they really affect what you're doing and how they can kind of deflect you from what you're supposed to be doing.
Right, well, we have an interesting array. When we get up in the morning, we're either at a ground zero level, or we're below ground zero, or maybe we're higher than ground zero. But
Yeah.
if we can at least get to a level where we feel we can go through our day,
Yeah.
we're good, we're golden, because
Sure.
we can climb the mountain that day. But most of us feel at a deficit, and we do so because we have way more than just the body to deal with. We have a physical self, we have the emotional self, and we have the mental self.
Right.
And how do we manipulate those 3 to get through our day? How do we tap into the spiritual, maybe to overcompensate, to compensate for something that's not really
Right.
feeling well?
But when you wake up in the morning, are you saying,
I can't wait. I go to bed,
Yeah.
this is the truth. I
Okay.
go to bed and I can't wait to get up in the morning.
That's cool.
I go to bed
That's
saying
cool.
excited, like if you just blink,
Yeah.
you just wake up, you
Yeah.
know, like and be ready
Well,
to
you
go.
have a lot of exciting things, and I think you're sort of self-inspired. You know, you're the type of person
Well,
that.
self-motivated and self-inspired is a great term, because that's what I coach, that's what I teach.
Right.
I don't want people to rely on me. I want to teach
Right.
them how to be their own coach,
Sure.
and then also how to help each other
Sure.
and coach each other.
Sure. Okay, so we mentioned that we wanted viewers to vote on what they thought your show should be named, right? So
Mhm.
let's set the premise and the tone for what is going to happen on your show.
Okay, well, I teach what's called positive manipulation, and I actually used to have a show years ago on the radio called Positive
Oh, you did?
Manipulation.
When
with
was
Donna
that?
Martini. Oh my gosh, I don't remember. Do you know, I don't remember. It was sometime in the 2000 range.
Right, somewhere in
Somewhere
there.
in there.
Yeah.
And it was exciting and fun. It was hard to be the producer slash, you know,
You did
interviewer.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I like being interviewed because it's easier to answer questions.
True.
And
But you're good at interviewing.
I did
and
my
asking
first
questions.
interview on the red blue carpet. on the red
She's got blue
carpet.
on the brain. I love it.
Rain.
Happy birthday, Blue Day. Okay.
I was asked to do the red carpet at the film festival, the Gold Coast Film Festival.
Right.
And I thought, wow, this is great. I've never done this before,
Sure.
but I'm willing, I'm game.
Sure.
And I saw the takes, I saw the video of it. I'm like, I didn't do too bad. I actually
Right.
asked the right questions, but you know how easy it is if you're interested in something, you want to know, you ask the questions you'd be wanting to, you know, the answers to.
Sure.
So it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be.
Right.
But being on this end and being able to share information and help people, this is really what I want to do. Whatever
Yeah.
format that takes me in, whether it's Facebook,
Right.
which is like having my own newspaper.
Right.
It's like having my own,
Every
know,
day you get to write
I
about
get
what
to-
you want to do, reach out to, but engage in the
engage.
public.
Yeah,
Newspaper is only one-sided, so let's face it, and from Facebook, you're interacting all day long.
absolutely. I get to see, and I use Facebook as a tool because I want to see how people receive the information. As a writer and an author, how do people accept it, receive it, how they feel about it, what they do
Right.
with it.
Right.
You know, I notice that sometimes I'll put a post on and it will be very, very short and profound and I'll get like 80 likes,
Right.
but I won't get any shares. Yet if I
Right.
put something longer on, I'll get less likes because less people tend to read longer.
Yeah.
But there's 8 shares,
Right.
5 shares.
Very interesting, and that's a subject that I really want to talk about. But the premise of your show is going to include a variety of women of different
Well, it's
ages.
going to be like a
and-
talking Facebook,
Yeah,
if you think about it,
Okay.
because we have interaction, people
Right.
can call in.
yeah,
And it's really gonna be based on how do we take the physical, emotional, and the mental sides of ourselves? How do we manipulate that in the best, most positive way so we can tune in and tap into the spiritual, which
yeah,
is really where our supernatural power is.
yeah,
You know, I have a saying, if to err is human, okay, then I am superhuman, because I
Right.
make mistakes all the time.
right,
Do I really wanna be superhuman?
right,
Or do I want the S on my chest, you know, or do I want to be the supernatural, the super powerful? And
right,
to do that, we need to be able to let go of what makes us so human and grounded and
right.
tap into that spiritual realm and that soulful realm.
So you're hoping that when we get a group of women together, we can speak about the spiritual side of their lives, the balance of their life, touch on topical things like social media, which we should talk about a little bit today, some of the things that we're planning on doing, or you're planning on doing. What is your overall, I mean, I think through social media, you could sort of see what a person, what they look like, what their general mission is, but I think that in this format, you're able to convey a lot more about who you are, and people really can learn quite a bit from you.
Well, I think that's my quote-unquote style, that when I write, and I never really thought I was a writer. I didn't train for it, I just became a writer. I think the
Right.
first thing I wrote was my father's eulogy.
Oh
And
my
it made
gosh.
people cry, and everybody said, you have to do this. And then I wrote everybody else's eulogy after that. In fact, I have a waiting list of people who want me to write their eulogies.
Wow, who knew?
But at any rate, I realized that when I felt very strongly about something, and I was really feeling it, I can translate it into words.
Right,
But then, as I was being interviewed as a professional, I would ask the writers that were interviewing me and the reporters, you know, how do you do this? Because I
Right.
didn't feel I could write unless I felt, you know, something very powerful happened to me. And they
Right.
said, well, when you do it for a living, you have to just do it.
right,
So that inspired me to start just going out there and writing, and I actually started with a column called Positive Manipulation, and it was in a trade magazine.
okay,
And since I didn't know how to write, I wrote in first person to start. Like, this is what I did, this is what I learned from it. And I got great response from
Right.
it. So being human and flawed, and then learning the process of how I got to be more inspired or actually became more successful was really what people wanted to know.
right,
So that's how my book is written, The 10 Commandments of Divorce. It's written in how I dealt with it. And it jumps into third person, like
Right.
we need to do this, we need to do that. I never say you. You'll
Right.
never see me say you,
right,
because it's not that. We're all in this together.
sure.
We're all learning at the same rate, we're all teachers, and we're all students.
Do you feel that women come to you, and men, to
Yes.
find out what happened to you during divorce? Because you wrote the book and it's
Mhm.
about divorce, you have so much more to offer about health and fitness, wellness. You mentioned
Feng shui.
feng shui.
I said, get a sign, feng
right.
shui.
So you have lots of different attributes.
Yes.
Do you think that people define you because of the book with divorce, and do they
No.
associate with you with
No,
that?
because in the book, I go out as a coach. And
Okay.
the only reason why I wrote the book was because I was able to get so much information through my coaching practice. And also
Okay.
because it took me 20 years to write the book, because I had to be successful
Mhm.
at the divorce, right? You can't write a book about divorce while you're going through it.
Right,
You have to leave, it has to go somewhere, and because my children are so wonderful and so well-rounded, I can say, you know what, here's what I did, here's the mistakes that I made, here's how I changed things, here's how I started to look at it, and this is how it works.
right,
You know, it worked for me, because here's my children, the product of this now.
Yeah.
The product is not damaged, they're actually healthy,
right,
even though the divorce was so horrendous, you know,
Right.
the marriage was actually worse than the divorce.
Wow.
Divorce is the easy part,
wow,
which is why I went for a divorce.
right,
So, yeah, so people see me as a coach
Okay.
that went through one,
right,
and how did you do it? And basically talking in the book, it's all about the physical, mental, and emotional. It's all about love and forgiveness,
mhm,
and about that spiritual end, and how the process that I learned how to do that.
right,
And what I wanted to take from the divorce and the marriage, because for the sake of my kids, I was seeking my own happiness, but was I gonna trash them in the meantime?
right,
You know, I had to make sure they were happy
sure.
if I was gonna do this. And so that
I think-
process,
I think a lot of women in general, or even men, I can't speak for the men, but if you're going through a divorce, it's just, you're so self-absorbed or scared or whatever's
Exactly.
happening. So how do you differentiate and pay attention to the children and your own life? I mean, you're going through that and I mean, as we go through many different things, I think there's just so
Absolutely.
many challenges, which is,
absolutely. And the prologue to my book is exactly what you said. It was a story about the night that I realized it's not all about me.
Mhm,
You know, like I was sleeping in my bed for the first time for after about a few months of being separated or whatever,
Right.
and feeling alone,
right,
you know, and used to having someone next to me in bed. And realizing when I got up and I was restless and I went to see my daughter and she was there sleeping alone with her teddy bear, and I'm like, she's always sleeping alone. She never had anybody there with her.
right,
And all of a sudden I realized, wow, you know, I'm their mother. I'm the one who has to comfort them.
right,
I'm looking for comfort right now, but if I would just step up and just realize what I need to be for them, maybe I can get out of my own way.
That's true.
And that's exactly what I did. So I
Good.
used my children,
Mhm.
you know, as my motive.
Good,
My goal was to be the best mom I could be, and they were my motive to do that, and to reach that. And
Right.
even when I didn't feel worthy
right,
at all,
right.
I was able to use them.
So, not just talking about divorce with Donna, but there are so many different challenges that we come upon in life in general. And Donna, I would say I think our viewers would probably agree that you have a wealth of knowledge in many different areas. I mean, people know that you've been involved in business, you've been through lots of challenges. But I think that if we built a panel together of women to discuss things, so we want to hear from you and what you think that the panel should consist of, and if you would like to be involved in the panel. So some of the things that we'll talk about are social media and how you present yourself online, because to me, I watch some women, what they're doing, and I feel badly for them sometimes.
Yeah,
And
there's certain things going on Facebook that are disturbing, but I will tell you something. I was listening to K-Love this morning on the way
Okay.
to work, and I love that station. It puts me in such a great mood.
Excuse me, I have to refill my Dunkin'
Oh, there
Donuts
you go.
cup.
There you go.
Thank you, Dunkin' Donuts, for the coffee, tea today. Okay, sorry.
So I'm listening to K-Love, and
I'll put this back now, Donna. Okay, and
they
I
actually
never listened to
had,
that.
yeah, it's wonderful.
Is
It's a
it?
great way to start your day, all day long.
Is it
No
positive,
matter
or
what,
is it-
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
K-Love is all about. the
Oh, about
spiritual.
love.
It's about, yeah,
K Love,
it's
okay.
all about the spiritual.
This is
But-
blue love today.
Yeah. They actually were talking about intention, and you know, writing our intention is really important because it makes it more powerful, more profound,
Right.
and it engages more of you when you do that, rather than just thinking. It's also more deliberate,
Okay.
which is really special. So I'm relating this to Facebook because I know that was one of the things you and I wanted to talk about, since
Yeah.
I am such a Facebook, person. And recognized all the time because of Facebook. It's crazy, right?
Right.
It's like being a movie star on Facebook, which is really,
People know you.
People
And
know
people
you.
know you, and they want to hear from you.
and that's great. I have a lot of followers, and I'm so excited to share with those people, like you have no idea.
Right.
So if you think about it though, if writing makes it more profound, then writing and sharing,
Right.
and that's what many people do. Many people, and I know me myself, I'm putting an intention on. It's not about always teaching someone. It's what I just learned, and I want to make it more profound in my own life. I put it out there because now thousands of people get to read it. It makes
Yeah.
it more powerful
Right.
for me, and it makes it more like if I just learned something. Okay, now I want to make it stick.
So when you write on Facebook, because I've noticed this with you only because I know you, but it really is happening in your life
Some of
right
it,
now. It's
absolutely.
a lot of it.
Almost all of it, I
Yeah.
would say. And it's not just about what I am learning at that moment, it's about encounters that I have and how I've already learned this lesson, but maybe the other person hasn't.
Right.
And so I'm not trying to like teach them. Half the people that are doing these things to you are not even on Facebook, but the idea is that you want to reiterate in your own life when someone hurts you. Like for instance, if someone does something that's so egregious to your persona and you're just
Yeah.
like, you're hurting over it, and I write something about having a pity party. Okay, 3 seconds is done. That's it. You're over.
Right.
No more pity party. Or if I say, we are the ones who accept or deny an insult or something that happens to us.
Yeah.
We don't have to take that.
Right.
We can say, no, it doesn't work.
Right.
So that's a good reminder for myself and
Sure.
for everyone else.
Well, what do you think about women who are actually getting into kind of like little catty fights on Facebook? I mean,
I get that, yeah.
or reacting to something that that you say, and they react so deeply and passionately, as if you're telling them what to do when you're really just expressing your opinion.
Well,
I mean,
as I said, I always say we. I never say you.
Yeah.
I hope.
But some people take it that way.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter
absolutely.
what you say.
Absolutely, and then I get challenged, and it's funny because you'll write one word, one sentence. How do they think you could encapsulate life in one sentence?
Right.
So then you have all these people coming on, and most of them will agree, and they'll say yes, and they'll add more, and it becomes this beautiful discussion. And then you'll have the one person in there that just tries to chop it up because they're not in a good mood. But my challenge is to help them to see the other side. I appreciate when people are showing me that aspect because,
Yeah.
first of all, I want to know, is what I wrote hurting someone or
Right.
not, that I need
What's
to rewrite it.
right
I'm
for
the
you.
writer, I need to rewrite it.
Right.
If someone doesn't understand, maybe I'm understanding
But
it.
you actually message that person. You've said
I have
you've
messaged
messaged
people.
to really find out into
I've
deeper.
apologized, I've blocked people, I've done every end of the gamut, and I
Right.
think in life we do the same thing. We have to know, when do we walk away, when do we block, when do we hit back,
Yeah. Yeah. But it takes a lot for you to block somebody. I mean, for
Oh,
me,
yes.
as soon as someone's negative, I'm like, okay,
Yes.
I don't want to negativity,
No,
so
and-
goodbye. But you
No.
give them chances and chances,
The
and you
person
message
who-
them,
the person
and you
who's,
try to coach them.
the person who's giving you the most challenge is the person who needs your love the most.
Mm.
So yeah, you don't wanna, I don't really wanna block, I block people who are scary.
Yeah.
People who threaten, things like that,
Yeah.
because I don't want them to see where I am and things that I'm doing if
Sure.
they're threatening people.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like what any person who's out there in the public eye has to do. They have to be leery of that, because there are people who really are not in their right mind, they're a little deranged,
Yeah.
and you get that. But for the most part, it's just people who are being challenged themselves, and I'm showing them another side, another way to think, and if it doesn't resonate with them, I appreciate that. Because when
Right.
things don't resonate with me, I challenge it.
Right.
I don't challenge it in a negative way.
Right.
I say, you know what, that's maybe half my truth, let's hear the other half.
Sure.
Even when something hurts, even when someone says something to me and it's like, oh, I always sit and say, okay, I'm supposed to hear this for a reason. What is the other aspect to it? What else can I see?
Mhm.
Let me hear truth.
Mhm.
And when you do that, you shut the left brain off and you allow that right brain to trigger. And then boom, you're getting information, you're getting beauty, you're getting love, because this is where love exists. This is where that mess exists and the things we have to manipulate out of.
Mhm.
But this is always professing beauty, love, truth.
Well, you're really forgiving and a really good person, because I think that's the coaching side of you, to want to, and I
There's
think
no
that's a beautiful
judgment. You
thing,
can't have
right?
judgment.
It's a beautiful
You
thing.
cannot have, especially as a coach, you can't have judgment.
Sure.
Some people come to me with sexual addictions, they come with alcoholism, they come with all, not just cancer and all those things
Right.
that are things that are happened to us, breakups and all that, stuff that we do, men will come to me and say, I'm gonna cheat on my wife any minute now, you gotta help me. They don't
Right.
really wanna cheat, but they're like being driven to cheat.
Mm.
Am I gonna judge them for that? No, I'm
Right.
gonna help them.
Right.
I'm obviously gonna bring out the strength in that. Well,
Right.
guess what? You came to me, and I'm gonna kick your butt
Right.
with you. You're the part of you that can't manipulate yourself.
Right.
But you got here. You came here. That means you're willing.
Right.
That's all I need.
Right. Okay.
All I need is somebody willing.
So
to
this
change.
is a social networking site, so if people have a question or they want to interact,
Mhm.
they're gonna be able to have the ability to either call into you or respond and engage on the site, whether through blogging, commenting, or sharing, or calling in. So we will have a designated number for you, but the number to call today is 631-337-1603. That's in our office right here. We'll get the call right here, and you can ask Donna Martini any questions during the time here today. And hopefully in our new studio, we'll have that designated line for you. I have two questions for you. What do you hope to accomplish with the show? And two, what are you gonna be doing on your birthday, besides celebrating a little here?
Well, I'm actually dressed for my hike here, which I'm gonna be going to in a little while, so I'm gonna spend a couple hours in the woods. And I'm gonna get my nails done.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to go out to dinner with the person who I was with the day I was born,
Oh, wow.
my mom.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We were there together, we did this together, we're
Yeah.
gonna, yeah, so I'm excited to be with her, just her and I
I
alone.
love that. I love
Just
that.
her and I alone.
I think-
Some sushi.
That's really cool.
Yes.
I think that one of the things I really want to talk about, and I feel really strongly about, is when it is your birthday or your child's birthday, how much it's so important for the parents to celebrate the birth of that child, and how important, I mean, your life completely changes, and we're all impacted every single day by that child, so it's really nice to.
Oh, well, on my son's birthday, you can ask him how many years I called him up, and I would moan into the phone as if I was in labor. You know, I'd call him up and
You did it.
he was, yeah, because I was like in labor for 16 hours with him.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, you know, you should honor me
You should
today.
do this, right. Aw.
And I tease him. And
Well,
he-
Donna Drake for the last few years has sang Happy Birthday, whether I answer the phone or not. If I answer the phone, it sounds like Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday to me, but in a happier, not sultry, but a happy, sweet Happy Birthday.
Right.
But it's really nice. I think birthdays are really fun. Birthdays are great.
Well, it's a good way to create starts, you know, like everybody looks for a date to start something.
Yeah.
I had a deadline to feng shui my house.
Yeah.
And I actually finished last night at about 10:30, so that was cool. And
It was your date to finish before your birthday?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
gonna do for my birthdays. I'm working on so many videos right now, and I really wanted to get that done.
Yeah.
Feng shuiing is a great way to set your energy.
Yeah, I
It's
gotta
really-
learn a little bit more about that.
would
Because
love
I
to
had
teach
like
that.
offset energy today, and we'll
Well,
get
you're
it,
living
yeah.
in a feng shui
We're-
nightmare right now, so.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Everything,
But that's
like, for the
okay.
last, I would say 2 months, 3 months even, everything has been sort of temperamental for
Right.
me. And it's really hard to balance, like, okay, I wanna wake up in the morning, and I am excited to wake up, but wake up in the morning and be excited about work, which I love, be excited about the kids. There's just a lot of stresses. And, okay, so really quick, your birthday is not recognized on Facebook. How come?
Oh, just for security reasons,
Okay.
to be honest. You know,
Because
like,
I
there's so much
love everybody
information.
telling me happy birthday.
I know, it has nothing to do with that, because
Okay.
it actually is something that you miss when
fine.
people don't know, but that's
Right.
fine, and I'm really not a.
Well, we're broadcasting it today, Donna, sorry.
That's, I know,
It's your
you did,
birthday.
okay, I never trusted that. But 53 is really cool for me. I looked up the number 8, because 5 plus 3 equals 8. I also looked up
My
the
favorite number.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
it's
8
my
is the
lucky
number of infinity.
Okay.
But I didn't realize there's a spiritual side to number 53. And it was all about empowerment. It was all about, you know, coming forth and opening up into new avenues. And
Right.
this is exactly what I'm doing this year.
Right.
It was about success and money, which I've been working for free since 2004. So at this point, I'm gonna be living in my mother's basement if I don't start bringing any money
Good thing
in.
you're taking her to dinner tonight.
Yeah, right. She's taking me out of the. She's taking me out. But so no, it's really funny because I'm not about money. I made it because I wanted to retire young and I wanted to be able to work for free. But it wouldn't hurt to have cash because now I can put it into all the things that I wanted to do. Because when I
Yeah.
made it, I was doing the websites. I had 8 websites.
Yeah.
I had
That's
so
a lot
much
of maintenance.
information to share and to be
Yeah.
able to just sit and write and help people and coach.
Right.
Because my coaching has always been free.
Well, one of the things that I really recognize taking some money, it doesn't mean that you have to use it for yourself. I mean, we make money here at Blue Chip, but we wouldn't be able to fund all the charities
Absolutely.
and things that we do. And I don't take a salary myself. It's my choice to give it back to charities or to,
And
you
that's
know.
beautiful.
Yeah.
But in the job you're doing, it's not an issue, but what I do is so soul to soul, and I feel like there's no money, there's no space for money there. I don't want the energy of money in that
In the mix.
communication. It's
It
about
does
love.
change things.
It's
though.
about love.
It
It's
does change things.
absolutely.
So you never turn anyone away because there's
No.
no reason to.
Well, I turn people away who are not willing.
Yeah.
If they're not willing,
Then what are you
I'm
gonna do?
useless for them. You know,
Right.
like, I'm not
It's
pulling
like
them
an
by
AA
ear.
program, right?
They
The
have
first
to-
step is, right? Isn't that the first step, to say, recognizing you have a problem? I don't know, I haven't
You
been
know,
in AA.
it's not about a problem. Some
Right.
people come to me and
Just
they're happy.
recognizing that you want to change something, or?
Some people come to me and they just want to tap into more. They want to
Okay.
see what more is there. They might be feeling something missing. They might be the spiritual that
Right.
they're looking to
I
satisfy.
think people will come to you and want more because you, emanate a lot of great energy. I mean, that's just who you are. So they're gonna infectiously want to get more or learn how to be that. I mean, don't they say to be around what you want to be?
Right.
That's so important.
Well, it's funny because I said that today about being the love, living the life, walking the talk. I actually went online to say, on Facebook saying walking the talk, and someone actually argued with it, that it had to be walk the walk or talk the talk. I don't know. I'm like,
Again,
okay,
yeah, they're arguing about
my saying in my mind, and I'm open to hearing suggestions, but it's been working.
Yeah.
I walk the talk.
Mhm.
So basically, we know.
That makes sense.
We
to me.
know in our head what we should be doing,
Right,
but who's really doing it?
right.
You know, you could be wanting to quit smoking, you'd be willing to quit smoking, but not ready to be quitting smoking.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
you may not have
Oh, I
a
do that
direction,
every
you may
day
not
with
know
something.
how. So basically, we need to be able to, if we say it in our mind and we put it out there on Facebook or anywhere else for thousands of people to see, what are we doing to now engage? What are we,
Right.
how are we stepping into our life on purpose,
Right.
into that, realm and going with it?
Very interesting.
And I think that that's what people lack. Sometimes it's fear precluding them, sometimes it's not knowing how, or thinking
Right.
you need to be more, or worthiness.
So
I got
that's
it
all of these are all of the things that even though
Yes.
you represent that in a coaching session that you're going to share with the audience.
Yes, and my coaching, because I don't charge, because it's about love, every single one of my coaching clients becomes my coach.
And
In fact.
You learn.
They
Yeah, you
learn,
learn
and just by
everything.
the
It's
communication.
beautiful.
I'm always being, I put a
That's
question out to the universe, I get an answer every
Right,
time to my
right.
coaching
Oh, I
clients.
love this, Donna, by the way. Look at that.
Isn't that fun?
cute? I love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I have a
It's
couple of
warm.
those. Yeah, to cover
warm.
your.
Yeah.
All right, so your mission for the show. What if you could say in a sentence your mission for this show? What you want to accomplish? I mean,
I want to help people recognize their best self.
right,
You know, we're all in this together, we're all on a journey together, we're never done, if we're done, we're dead.
right.
So it's like
Yeah,
every day we're
right.
learning, everyone has something else to offer, let's share it. I'm trying to help people understand how their physical self affects their emotions and their mental state,
Right.
and how all three need to be in alignment, the head, the heart, and the gut, and how we can literally
Mhm.
manipulate out of negativity to be in that soulful presence.
Right.
And how when we're in there, that's when we seek that's when we're happy, that's when we're
Yeah.
feeling at bliss, that's when we're in the now.
Right.
And every day becomes joyous rather than a challenge or.
So please tell me that you're gonna discuss religion and decorating and cooking tips. We have a beautiful
Everything.
kitchen here that I'll show you in a little bit.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, the four aspects of being human, the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, we've been talking
Wait,
about
say
it.
it slower for our viewers. Okay.
The physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual.
I have a lot to
There
learn.
are too many things
Yeah.
to not to. I am like the chiropractor, like the general contractor of wellness, okay? So like I'm the secretary who holds all the information, you gotta go in your direction. So maybe you're living a life and you're realizing there's a deficit and you don't know what it is. Well,
Yeah.
But I'm talking about feng shui and you're like, oh my gosh, my house is trashed. I got so much junk from the past everywhere. I'm gonna tell you, just start there. Start with getting rid of junk
Yeah.
in your life, just get,
I agree
call
with
it,
that. I'm very good at that.
I call it get feng shuiing the crap out of your life.
Okay.
Basically just get rid of negative. So now
Right.
all of a sudden that starts freeing you up,
Mhm.
mentally, emotionally,
It feels
physically.
good, right?
It does,
I
it
love
creates an energy. So you might
Mm.
not know where to start. So in this conversation, while we're talking and while we're helping each other and learning from each other, it may trigger,
Right.
another aspect in you that you need to.
I love
move
that.
on.
I love that. So, do we have any special guests lined up? Can we get Andrea in here? Because I mean, I really love her. And Andrea just got us on the post. That was
Yes,
fun.
when you're
That was
post,
really cool. We did
Yeah, we had to
pedicures
talk-
while we had a
We're
meeting.
gonna talk about that book launch.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
And we can't wait to talk about it all with you guys. We are receiving feedback from our producer that we need to wrap it up even though we're having a great time. Donna, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
for coming to our new space today and pointing out that I do need signs. I know, maybe you could help me get my life organized and get the feng shui the crap out of it.
Yeah,
Is that
feng
what
shui
you
the crap
said?
out of your life.
Okay, I'm happy to be here with Donna and of course my partner in crime, Donna Drake, is always there, and Brittany working hard, all of our staff at Blue Chip Marketing. I appreciate everything that you're doing. We're really excited about the show. Most of all, I'm really happy to talk with you.
Thank you so much for
Learn
having
from
me
you.
today. It's a
Yeah,
special
just
day.
to be with you. It's really nice. So thank you all. We'll see you next Wednesday. Want to do this again?
Sure.
We're gonna have a great lineup for you. Be prepared, okay? You'll hear all about it. I'm Donna Drake. I'm not Donna Drake. I'm Corinne Caro, and this is my really good friend Donna Martini. Happy birthday to you, honey.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thanks
We'll
so
see you all
much.
soon, okay? Tune back in.